What's up, gang? The three mics are going live again. This time we're heading to Columbus, Ohio, Wednesday, September 18th at the Attic Comedy Club, hosted by Sista Lou. Come hang out with us at 8 p.m. Get your tickets right now at theatticcomedy.com or the3mics.com.
Vander looks frozen, but then this cat was moving.
I know. See, he holds so perfectly still when he doesn't move. You almost need to have like a ceiling fan or something moving in the background to let you know time is passing. I can see your thumb twitching, dude. So.
The first time I ever did comedy until today is not the span of time that I claim I've been doing comedy.
Oh, it is.
And I'd have like 6-7 years under my belt, and I just don't have that.
I look at it. It's like I've been doing it for almost 20 years, but I've been doing it seriously for 8, because that's when I moved to Dayton and like had kind of figured shit out at that point and was like, okay, now I can actually give this a legitimate go. Up to that, when I really look back on everything prior to 2015, you can barely call what I was doing comedy.
I look at it as post kid and pre kid.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Well, and for me, and I think for a lot of comics now, it's also pre and post COVID. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was going pretty hard before the kid. Even during COVID, I was trying to.
I remember being at you and me were at a South Park Tavern, and it was like you and Melissa had just got engaged, and you had just gone part-time at work.
Yeah,
you were booking that much comedy.
Yeah,
and that was like the year before. It was like months before COVID.
It was
or no,
3 months before COVID.
3 months.
I remember March 14th was the day they shut everything down at midnight. 15th. I'm sorry, March 14th. I say 14th because I was doing a show that night in Columbus, and at midnight they shut everything down.
The 4th. I was up in Cleveland for the very first show of Killswitch Engage's tour. Went to the first show in Cleveland, canceled the tour the next day. Everything shut down the next day. It was hilarious.
I remember that. Because my boss knew I wanted part-time because I was doing comedy so much. And then I finally got it. And then comedy was like, fuck you. I mean, COVID was like, fuck you.
Well, comedy also said, fuck you.
Comedy said, fuck you to a lot of us, man.
Yeah, it was funny. I was making a decent, not decent. I mean, I was making enough money to suffice being part-time at work.
Yeah. Well, but even then, you just redirected that with the Facebook stuff and the.
I don't get paid by Facebook anymore.
Well, but you did for a while there.
Yeah, that was even. I hated that. So I mean, I liked it, but it's like now coming back, I was on my phone so much that I'm like,
yeah,
ugh.
I get it.
I think once I'm done running Wiley's open mic, I might get off social media for a little bit.
I other than my like comedy page on Facebook, I almost never get on Facebook anymore. Like I get on to doom scroll for work and like occasionally make a, like I did today about Wiley's closing, but other than that, I don't really get on there because for the same reason. I mean, Vander, you straight up ditched it altogether because it's just I my mom and I were talking. It's like I'm at the point where I'm tired of every third post being an ad.
Oh God.
I'm tired of it just being
of the fucking Jews.
I'm tired of fucking, and I'm tired of being a fucking cesspool, man.
It is a cesspool.
I got 600 people that I'm friends with on there who, let's be honest, everyone's just waiting their turn. Like social media has become one of those conversations where no one's listening to each other. Everyone's just waiting for their turn to talk.
And so I gotta put the most vile shit that people are like, we gotta say something about this.
like from a marketing standpoint, mostly just because of the line I'm in. I love it from that aspect, but from the social part of social media, I think that part's
That's
all but dead at this point.
There's no social. There's no like. It's not for its intended use anymore.
No, like at this point, I'm using it to like, like I'm coordinating the workshop group chat and posting podcast stuff. Beyond that, yeah, I'm good. If I've said for years, if I wasn't in a creative line of work, I'd have ditched social media years ago.
Literally, I'm just tired of. I'll keep Twitter for baseball. That's it. I literally keep Twitter because that's all I get on my baseball information now.
Even my Twitter algorithm is fucked up now. Like,
hit that.
Like that's why I deactivated my Twitter. That's the only social media that I have that I made before I went to prison. Everything else is new. Actually, that's a lie. Instagram. But Twitter is the one I'd had for the longest. It was my very first part of social media after MySpace went under. And I deactivated it because I was so fucking, my For You page was just nonsense. Like it was so frustrating. I found myself getting so mad about people's opinions who live across the world. Like,
yeah,
I can't invest my time in that shit anymore.
My reason I'm in the same boat as you, but I did that to myself because I like to troll. It's true on some things. So like that's partially. I was like, I understand why I'm getting this. Because I'm like, you're a bit like that's how I am.
Twitter does this thing where like they're gonna, even if you're like are on one side of something, like the thing that did it for me was the fucking the boxer who ended up being a biological female. Is I was making posts about that, like clearly like shitting on the people who were being transphobic and like liking everybody's posts who were like, yes, I stand with her, like yes, she's being mistreated. But once you do that, like Twitter is going to shove the other side of it down your throat too on your For You.
Oh, just because
I was just seeing the most bigoted, transphobic, just like, and half of it I think is fake. Like I literally think like there's AI that's making posts just to make everybody mad.
I can't remember what I was listening to.
Oh, on Elon Musk's platform, 1,000%.
I know, like before he bought Twitter, he thought 90% were like bots.
Yeah,
and I truly kind of believe it's. I think it's that high. I think it is
now.
I mean,
the problem he ran into was that he went in and he got rid of all the safety regulations that there were in place. So now what little they had to fight against those bots is gone.
Oh, I know.
So this is that I like I'm on Threads. Threads is kind of my echo chamber.
Yeah. Threads is all right.
Threads is all right. It's
because I get to start fresh and make my own algorithm basically.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do because my Facebook algorithm at this point is a disaster. Because I've been on Facebook since 2007. Like my algorithm is an absolute hodgepodge nightmare, and trying to clean it up would be next to impossible. So that's why I'm kind of like I'm just staying off of there for a while. Like at this point, let my algorithm fucking die.
My algorithm is just on Facebook is just Jiffy Lube. It's just fucking Jiffy Lube coupons.
Follow the Dayton comedy scene on social media at Gem City Comedy or learn more at www.gemcitycomedy.com.
Well, I guess since we're all three here and it's been posted publicly, I guess the cat's out of the bag with Wiley's Comedy Club closing.
Yep.
Womp womp.
Yep. I mean, on one hand, like there's a part of me that's sad to see it just from being a shitty human being, and just because that place does mean something to me from like just from a personal history standpoint. But at the same time,
all of my best performances were there. So
yeah, but at the same time, I also am not going to act like, help wasn't offered. But also, I don't know what
it wouldn't have mattered.
But from what we're hearing, it sounds like it wouldn't have fucking mattered, honestly.
Yeah, they're just flat out now renewing the leases.
Well, it's not them renewing the lease; it's the company not offering them to renew the lease.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, which has been happening a lot downtown to begin with, especially since COVID. And I know downtown we've heard about this talking with like the guys at the Barrel House and all that. Like they're still struggling. Like when the heat took out Barrel House's AC, I mean that almost shut them down.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Good?
Oh yeah. They almost didn't. That the cost for that was almost put them under.
Jesus, and they're usually pretty busy all the time, aren't they?
Yeah, but that was kind of the Gus's point, was like people don't fully understand like just how much downtown is still struggling to get back from COVID.
Damn.
Like they were selling whoever they got doing their stickers rules, because they're getting those. They must like be printing them themselves or something, because they had these, and I have one on my car now. It's a sticker that says "I help keep the Barrel House open." It's basically it's a snowflake joke basically. And they were basically just selling those when they were trying to stay open and selling off the shelves to mitigate the cost. They were selling those stickers like $3 a pop, and all the money from that was going to like pay for it. And they got it fixed, thankfully, but that was rough. If they hadn't been able to get that.
How long was the ACF for?
24 hours, I think.
Damn.
Maybe a little bit longer. Banner, do you know?
Close to 24 hours. A little. It went out like in the afternoon, and it was up by I think like 10 or 11 the next day.
Yeah.
AM.
So not even a full day, but long enough that like they weren't able to run their lines until they got. That took hours for everything to cool back off again. Like they couldn't open the cooler.
And it was just flat. The cost of getting the AC replaced itself is really what fucked them.
It was like $6,000 or something like that, wasn't it?
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
For a place that big, and I'm sure they probably also has something to do with the apartments upstairs too. I bet it's probably more than 10,000 if I had to guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because you got to figure it's the building. It's the bar. It's the whole bar, the cooler, because it was their entire cooling system was down. So, Jesus. Anyway, yeah. So like, bring it back to Wiley's. Like, even with as busy as they can be, like it just.
I don't think they would even. My thing is Wiley's because probably sold out every show for the past like year, and it wouldn't have been renewed.
Yeah.
Well. And I know that like usually they may, I don't know if it was you that said this, Wells, or Erica, but usually they would make enough from just like Stuart Huff.
Yeah, they make enough for the entire
Haywood Banks and fireworks alone would cover the year. And
it's like 3 or 4 shows a year that they make their money on, which covers like a lot of the cost for most of the year.
And they just didn't do it this year. It wasn't enough. And but also like that building, that area, especially after iHeart moved out of there, like with Wiley's being the only thing in that huge building.
But they want to do something with the whole building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I get why they wouldn't necessarily want to renew their lease for them. So
do you guys think it'll end up being related to comedy whenever the renovations are made?
One thing I can think of, which I thought in my head, is what if he has his A club? What if he has a B club?
I mean,
because really his A club is like A.
It's the S tier.
Yeah.
It's the you save up for months to go to these shows kind of place. Like he's gonna have. I mean, because without it, there's no like hub for comedy in Dayton, really. I mean, because Bricky's is Miamisburg. Closest thing is Jokes and Tokes at that point, or Funny Bone, but Funny Bone
doesn't do anything
with the and they may, with the way things are going at the Green, they may end up having to move too. Who knows? So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. That's why everyone's kind of like pretty much once the word got out that that Wiley's was going, everyone's kind of been throwing all their weight behind Bricky's. I mean, like this thing we're building at the end of the month here, like it's 3 days of comics doing workshops and stuff with everybody. Like Ray and Jarrell are doing something, then Brent's doing his a special taping or album recording, whatever it is, and like it's everyone's throwing all their support into Bricky's, and Kevin at this point is just taking it with open arms because he knows he's got a lot to do now.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we'll get any business off of it.
Probably not.
He'll get more comics.
Well,
not just local comics. He'll get like
and that's we've been talking, and I'm not gonna say too much out of pocket, but like that's a lot of comics have been having those conversations with him, and a lot of it's going to come down to like who he can afford to bring in.
Oh yeah,
I know Leeson's been in touch with him, but I'm not sure what, if anything, they've talked about. So we'll see. He's got stuff planned to announce at this thing. It's going to be really cool, and I can't wait to see what happens. But yeah, end of an era with Wiley's, but it's the way it is sometimes.
We get one last Haywood Banks weekend before it's all over.
I know that was. I saw that on the thing, and I was like, "That's funny."
Fuck yeah,
that's really funny.
I'll be closing out the Sunday comics this coming Sunday, the 11th, and then we have one more on the 18th.
I'll be closing that one.
Wells will be closing that one out. So literally the last 3.
Hell yeah,
Sunday comics are the mics.
That's a legacy right there.
That's fucking right.
That's our greatest accomplishment.
Well, it is. It really is. And also, like what Wells was saying before we started recording was, like, what'd you say? You're like, I've run the thing for fucking
4. I was like, I ran the thing for 4 fucking years. I'm gonna close out the last one. I'm fucking kidding.
Right?
What's up, gang? The 3 mics are going live again. This time we're heading to Columbus, Ohio, Wednesday, September 18th at the Attic Comedy Club, hosted by SabNeo. Come hang out with us at 8 p.m. Get your tickets right now at theatticcomedy.com or the3mics.com.
I'm gonna fucking close out the last. Like, I've only ever closed in 4 years. I've only closed one, and that was because I knew it was gonna be a bad weekend. I knew because I can't remember what date it was. So I was like, oh, there's not gonna be anybody gonna come to this.
Was it?
And it was 10 people there.
Was it? I think I remember. I was at that one too. It was a game. Was it a football game or something?
Yeah, some type of.
Yeah,
Bengals playoff.
No, it was the championship game last year. Not last year. I can't remember what year.
It wasn't last year. It was like 2 years ago. But it was a game or something. And yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, I'm fucking closing this. I knew nobody's gonna fucking be here.
Because you had me. You had me come down. You had a bunch of us come down. You're like, I just want people who don't suck.
And I think I put a lot of people on the last show. I cut Cal on the last one.
No fucking way.
I did.
Nice.
And that's Cal. I was like, hey, do you want a spot in the last one? He's like, I don't know. I can't remember what he says. He's like, I don't know if I have any material, but yeah, thank you. I was like, that's the one thing I did.
So if you're headlining it, you should let Shay and I do like the like run the comics meeting and run the light for you and stuff that night.
Just have the night off.
Give a shit.
Just have the night off, man.
That's fine.
Yeah,
you guys can run it.
Yeah, we'll run it. You can just be a diva for a night and just fucking have a rider and
get wasted.
M&Ms, get fucking wasted. Yeah, man.
What I did was Lori's on it. I got Karen asked to be on it beforehand. That's when I kind of knew. Karen's never asked me to be on one.
Really?
She's like, when's your pot? She's like, when's your open mics? I was like, the 11th and 18th. She's like, can I get on the 18th? And I was like, she's never asked me to do one. So I was like, this is interesting.
Wow. And then you said Lori's on there?
I asked Lori to go. Yeah.
Jeez. Man.
So are you handpicking these people or are you taking like the email submission?
I already had like people signed up for it already.
Okay.
You just picked a few extra to fill it out.
I was like, fuck, I'm gonna get people.
It's
like
I
can't have you or you on it because you guys just headline.
Of course. I'd rather us. I like the idea of each of us headlining one of the last 3.
But like my thing is, I think Jesse's gonna be on the last show. So I didn't ask him to do it because I think he's actually gonna be in like the September 7th show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked Lori and I was just like, hey, do you want to? That's John Morris, Chris Kowalski.
Yeah.
That's Brent. Brent said he couldn't do it. He had something. But yeah, I just asked.
Kemper?
Not Kemper. No. He just headlined.
Oh, he did.
Karen is also just headlined, but she also asked me like way long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also it's the last one. Who fucking cares?
If I had more spots, I would have actually asked Kemper.
Yeah.
I didn't. I would have asked Joe.
Well, and people drop. People don't show.
Yeah, that's what I'm half expecting that.
I guarantee there are going to be people there chomping at the bit for a
I
bucket
have a
spot.
ton of fucking emails today, and I got
I'm sure you did.
quite a few Facebook messages. Hey, I know it's the last one. Is there any way I can get on? I was like, nah, it's already booked, bud. Already booked, bud.
Just because it's the last one doesn't mean it wasn't booked in advance.
That's also true. Like, I had
Like-
everything booked up. I needed I had basically 10 comics already booked, and we usually do 14 to 15. So I was like, I gotta get 5 more. So
Fuck yeah.
let's nobody show up, which is also possible. Like no audience members.
I feel
I
like
don't
if
know,
they,
so that's-
well, if it gets pushed as the last couple, then I think that'll probably bring some people out.
Yeah, it probably will.
Well,
I just don't expect it.
I try not to.
Yeah, I'm not getting all like super excited about it, just because of the fact I expect 20 people in the audience. That's what I expect.
I'm happy with 20 as long as they're attentive.
Yeah, also true.
Vander says it all the time. What does Joe say, Vander?
That I would rather do a small audience that's into it than a packed room that nobody laughs.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
totally agree. Completely agree with that.
I've had 30 to 40 audience members at Wiley's that I hated that performance more than I hated the fucking 2 drunk people at Drew's on the River last week.
Yeah, no, that's true. At least they were into
Like,
it.
I had
Yeah.
fun. Like, I was riffing with them. Like, it was.
I'll take the 2 of them over the party of 5 that were sitting out there, like going out of their way to ignore us.
Yeah.
Like when the storm was at its heaviest, they still sat outside. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, we get it. You really don't want to watch the comedy show.